Let's go. Here we go. Good boy. Very nice. Good boy. So I'm just feeding him in heel position here every once in a while to reward him for being in the right spot. Let's go. That's my verbal cue to start walking on leash. Good boy. Good boy. Oh, bird. There you go. So while the puppy's learning, usually for the first year, I reward on leash. In heel position, while they're walking nicely, every like 10 to 12 steps. And then when we switch directions. He wants to go sniff that thing, so I'm just gonna make sure he checks with me first. Yeah. Good. So whenever the leash gets tight, let's go. Whenever the leash gets tight, because he's pulled away from me, I stop walking and I'll just encourage him to come back towards me. So I don't use a leash correction or anything. Good boy, very nice. I'm just teaching him that when the leash is tight, he needs to fix it by coming towards me. And the movement forward of the walk is the reward for doing that, because the dog wants to keep moving. So he's right in front of me, crossed over my center line here between my feet. So I'm teaching him to walk on the left, so he can come like in this he can do this little area here. But if he crosses here, I'm going to stop and encourage him to come back. And if he crosses behind me, same thing, I'm going to encourage him to come back to this position. Very nice. And that's a nice automatic sit he just did there while we're stopped. That's what we want him to do. So I like to pick a side and just teach the dog to go there. And then, as they mature and they're getting better at it, you can always teach both sides. But it's more clear for the puppy initially if you just do one side, and they get really good at that. Because it's hard to walk on a loose leash in public. Let's go. Good boy. So I like to make really consistent rules and lots of rewards for staying with you. Good boy. Yep. Oh, he's crossing again, so I'm just going to stop. I'm taking a couple steps backwards here too, just to encourage him to come back towards me. And I'm using the food to lure him back over to the left side. Come on. Good boy. Oops, I dropped one. Oops, I dropped one. I'm just using kibble. So as he matures, come on. You might need to use a higher value reward while you're outside. Little puppies like this, they'll just eat their kibble. They're usually not super as distracted by the world. Their brain hasn't developed enough to really grasp how big and exciting it is out here. So as he matures a little bit, you might need to, let's go. Good boy. You might need to start using like liver treats or a little bit of chicken or just something, a little bit of cheese I'll use sometimes. Just something a higher protein or higher fat and more exciting than the kibble. But for now, that's enough. Let's go. Do you see yourself in those? There's some mirrored windows there. He's looking at himself. Who's that dog? Who's that doggy in the window? He's not super fast and he's not super pulley. He's still, we're not out in public too much just because he's not fully vaccinated. So we're sticking to areas that are kind of dog free, just to reduce his exposure to anything that he could pick up. Good. Sit. Good boy. Sit. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Here we go. Good boy. So I have to have him sit at the curbs. He's crossing behind me, so I'm just going to stop it with the leash so that he can't get on the other side of me, and then I'll just reward him back in the heel position.